Now, today we will be doing symbolism in the glass menagerie. Symbolism in the glass menagerie. The other day we missed it because there were lots of noise outside. So I'm doing it in brief. You have the notes, just go through it. The portions that are very important for you to know, that portions I'm mentioning to you, okay? So that I can do it as fast as possible. So symbolism in the glass menagerie, why it is so very important for examination purpose. Symbolism is the part and parcel of the glass menagerie. Tennis Williams was attracted to symbolism, but he has not succumbed to the temptation of the 19th century realism. He was well aware of the limitations of the 19th century realism. He felt handicapped by the conflicting power of the 19th century realism. So now he decided to make that mode of realism flexible. In his expression of symbolism in this glass menagerie, unlike the 19th century concrete realism, he goes on to explain the psychological aspect of the symbols. All the symbols over here is psychologically very important because it has a psychological importance over here. That is why tennis players had to depend upon the technique of symbolism. It is the added goal of Williams to capture the reality of illusion, to portray the reality of illusion. Tennis Williams used symbolism inextricably connected with the central theme. The glass menagerie is the first symbol. This symbol retains some crucial importance because the play itself is entitled on the basis of this symbol. The glass menagerie is the creative product of Laura's depicted inferiority. It is through this menagerie that Laura succeeded in depicting her heavy inferiority into the direction of creativity. Typically, this symbol for Laura's own innocent way of deflecting inferiority into an admirable outcome to delicate creativity. So, the glass menagerie is a symbol of isolation. It is a symbol of the artificiality of a handicapped and heavily interiorized creativity. This illusion fits into her characteristics. In a nutshell, it is a symbol of escapism for her. Symbols, objects, characters, figures, colors used to represent abstract ideas or concepts. Now, Laura's Glass Menagerie, as the title of the play informs us, the glass menagerie, a collection of animals. Glass menagerie, or collection of animals, is the play's central symbol. It is glass animal figurines, figurines. Some call it figurines, represent a number of facets of a personality. Like the figurines, Laura is delicate, fanciful, and somehow old-fashioned. Glass is transparent, but when light is shined upon it correctly, it refracts an entire rainbow of colors. Similarly, Laura, though quiet and bland around the strangers, it depends from the individual to individual. All are not same. All do not behave properly. But still, we have to be aware of the fact that Laura, though quiet and bland around strangers, is a source of strange, multifaceted delight to those who choose to look at her in the right light. The menagerie is also an imaginative world to which she belongs. Then there's another symbol, the glass unicorn. Unicorn we know very well, there's no animal as such, but it is a horse, like a horse. So in a glass menagerie, Laura had manufactured a uniform of unicorn of glass. This one unicorn has one horn only. For that reason, horse in that way is known as the unicorn. Unicorn is nowadays not available on earth. Not nowadays, never it was on earth. So her existence in the external world is virtually extinct. So to make a life parallel to a illusionary world, she makes a unicorn which is extinct in the world. The virtual extinction, a unicorn is suggestive of the virtual extinction of Laura in the real life. Apart from this, the characteristics of a unicorn it is easily breakable because it is made of glass. So when this unicorn fell into the hand of Jim O'Connor, it broke at once. This breaking away of the unicorn is illustrative of the emasculation and importance of Jim O'Connor. The glass unicorn in Laura's collection, they are all their favorite figures and represents her peculiarity. As Jim points out, unicorns are extinct in modern times. At least I have not heard of anything as unicorn, even though I have read many fairy tales or something like that. But that unicorn exists is not clear to me. The fate of the unicorn is also a small scale version of Laura's fate. In scene 7, we'll find it there. When Jim dances with and then kisses Laura, the horn breaks off and it becomes just another horse. So Jim's advances endow Laura with a new normalcy, making her seem more like just another girl. Laura cannot become normal without somehow shattering. She lives in the world of imagination. Eventually, Laura gives Jim the unicorn as a souvenir. Without its sound, the unicorn is more appropriate for him than for her. And the broken figurine represents all that he has taken from her and destroyed in her. So in Glass Menagerie, Williams utilizes powerful symbolism, Laura's peculiarity and eventful fate. Laura, who suffers emotionally from physical disability of one leg being shorter than the other, she desperately seeks retreat from reality by escaping to her blissful world of glass animals. Glass menagerie are glass animals made of glass. Significantly, her favorite figure in the collection, the glass unicorn, is a powerful representation of her peculiarity and abnormality. So when Jim violently breaks the unicorn's horn, the unicorn becomes like the other horses, acting as a smaller scale version of Laura's, eventually shattering jolt into normalcy. This incident can be interpreted as a detriment to any normalcy that Laura previously possessed. Actually, the shattering of glass animal reveals and endows Laura with the strength to grow into an emotionally healthy person. She must change, she has to change. She has to be among the group of people who live in the real world. By attempting to live in the real world, that is their only choice. The glass unicorn in Laura's collection functions as a powerfully symbolic embodiment of a peculiarity and singularity. Among the collection of glass animals, the ornament provides a retreat void of tension when she can't handle the pressures of reality. Laura explains to Jim he stays on a shelf with some horses that don't have horns and all of them seem to get along nicely together, she says. This you'll get it in the book. So Laura's fragility is illustrated in the conversation with Jim when she says, glass is something that you have to take good care of. It is true, otherwise it will break. She also says to Jim, oh, be careful if you breathe, it breaks. Furthermore, in the most realistic moment of Laura's life, Jim breaks the glass unicorn and symbolically Laura as well. Representative of trusting normalcy for Laura, Jim bumps into the unicorn on the table, causing the horn to break off. Laura observes. She says, now it is just like the other horses. The other horses, as they look like, this menagerie also looks like those horses. So she may be coming to her real senses. There's nothing as unicorn as such, that's what she believes. So, through the shattering of the unicorn, it can be inferred that Laura's transformation is a painful experience that destroys any normalcy that previously existed in her. As she presents the unicorn to Jim as a gift, once he has broken both of them, Laura is symbolically removing herself from the company of the glass figurines. So the broken horn can be perceived as the turning point that eliminates the escape that the figurines previously offered Laura. It was a sort of escapism for Laura with the figurines. She possibly loves to possess it always. Laura's fragility can be understood as a flaw. Fragile character तो সেই জন্য flaw বলছি. So Jim takes advantage of her delicacy by apologetically breaking part of her. So Laura here understands what Jim means. After breaking the unicorn, the broken unicorn thus may become an embodiment of Laura's shattered dreams. In addition, the horn is the only unique characteristic that sets the unicorn apart from other horses. So you see, their behavior, their attitude towards the unicorn is what they think that it is. Thus, the unicorn's broken horn can signify a loss of uniqueness, destroying that which made her beautiful. Finally, it may be interpreted that handing the broken unicorn over to Jim may be giving herself up to him, although she says is a souvenir. She may be submitting to him. So there are critics who say that one way to interpret the shattering of the unicorn is to perceive it as a painful experience that leaves Laura broken. How? Because Laura lives in a world of unreality, not reality. The figurines are unreal, not real. In pointing out that unicorns are extinct in the modern world, I have never seen it anywhere. I have read so many books, seen so many movies, so many also videos, all in story, but in reality, nothing like that. So Laura's reaction to the unicorn's broken horn revealed her strength. Actually regards it as a positive event, saying, I will just imagine he had an operation. That is a way of thinking. Laura symbolically accepts that she must endure the prospect of pain to become an average content person, saying maybe it is a blessing in disguise. This is what it should be. Her ability to take the risk of pain and step out of her comfort zone to experience heartbreak and adventure in this new world of love proves that she is deceptively stronger than she realizes. Deceptively stronger. And for Jim, love is something that changes the whole world. Laura, he says. So as a result, Laura is the only character who is able to grow into an emotionally healthy person by choosing to leave behind the world of the glass menagerie and attempt to live in the real world. So Williams utilizes powerful symbolism in the glass menagerie to illustrate Laura's peculiarity and eventful fate. Laura escapes to a blissful world of glass animals whenever she is alone, as she desperately yearns for an escape from reality. This is what we call escape from reality, because reality to her is indistinct, shattering. In the glass menagerie, why did Laura give the broken unicorn to Jim as a souvenir? Great question. Technically, Laura becomes normal after she has been kissed by Jim. Because she has never tasted kiss of a young man. And like the unicorn who now looks like a regular horse, can fit in with the other horses. When giving him the unicorn representing his broken heart, she symbolically gives Tom away, asking Jim to take best care of him. Then there are symbol of the blue roses. Like the glass unicorn, blue roses, Jim's high school nickname for Laura. Jim's high school nickname for Laura is blue roses. What does the blue roses symbolize? Symbolizes Laura's unusualness. The name is also associated with Laura's attraction to Jim and the joy that his kind treatment brings her. Then there's another image, it is a fire escape. So you see here the fire escape. Leading out of the Wingfield's apartment is a fire escape with a landing. The fire escape represents exactly what its name implies, an escape from the fire of frustration and dysfunction that rage in the Wingfield's household, that is there with everyone inside the household. Laura slips on the fire and escapes in scene form, highlighting her inability to escape from her situation. Tom, on the other hand, frequently steps out onto the landing to smoke, anticipating his eventual getaway. So many of the symbols used in the play try to symbolize some form of escape or difference between reality and illusion. This represents the bridge between the illusory world of the Wingfields and the world of reality. There are two worlds over here, illusory world of the Wingfields and the world of reality. So this bridge seems to be a one-way passage, but the direction varies for each character. For Tom, the fire escape is the way out of the world of Amanda and Laura and entrance into the world of reality. This can be seen when Amanda then sends Laura to go to the store. Laura trips on the fire escape. So this also shows that Laura's fears and emotions greatly affect her physical condition more than the normal people. Another symbol presented deals more with Tom than any other characters. Why? Because Tom's habit of going to movies shows us his longing to leave the apartment and head out into the world of reality, a place where one can find adventure. Movie is a sort of adventure for Tom. And Tom, being a poet, can understand the needs of man to long for adventure and romance. So we see that, but he's kept from entering reality by Amanda, who criticizes him as being self-dreamer. Another symbol which is in the story is deals with both Amanda and Laura, and he is Jim O'Connor. To Laura, Jim represents the one thing she fears and does not want to face reality. Jim is a perfect example of the common man, a person with no real outstanding quality. In fact, Jim is rather awkward, which can be seen when he dances with Laura. To Amanda, Jim represents the days of her youth, when she went frolicking about picking jonquils and supposedly having 17 gentlemen callers on one Sunday afternoon. Although Amanda desires to see Laura settle down with a nice young man, it is hard to tell whether she wanted a gentleman caller to be invited for Laura for herself. So when Amanda tells Laura to practice typing, Laura instead plays with her glass. When Amanda is heard walking up the fire escape, she quickly hides her collection. She does this to hide a secret world from the others. So when Tom leaves to go to the movies in an angered rush, he accidentally breaks some of the Laura's glass. The shattered glass represents Laura's understanding of Tom's responsibilities to herself. Also, the unicorn, which is important, represents Laura's directly, as I told you earlier. So, Jim O'Connor, the most practical and realistic character, Jim O'Connor is himself a symbolic character. He has been held as an emissary of an external world. For the most part, Jim is realistic. In comparison to other characters, he is somewhat safe from the danger of illusion. It is he who stressed upon the importance of thinking, acting, and living in line with realism. No matter how tall a claim of being realistic, his claim suffers serious defects. To overcome his present difficulties and obstacles, Jim has been choosing new fields like radio engineering and rhetoric. His choice is practical and realistic. That is the way the readers would be thinking about. It is an act of illusion to negate the present with the device of the future. Everyone wants to live in the present, nobody wants to live in the future. So, what is the significance of Laura's glass imagery, especially the symbolic unicorn in Tennis Williams' play? In addition to the glass imagery, especially the glass unicorn, symbolizing Laura's fragility. Fragility means weakness and feelings of freakishness. Because I told you one leg of hers is shorter than the other. She has a defect of her own self, body. The glass further symbolizes a hidden inner radiance. The inner radiance is symbolized through the glass's ability to radiate light, as she points out to Jim when she hands him the unicorn. She tells him, hold him over the light, he loves the light. You see how the light shines through him. It is made of glass, it is very natural that if you hold it over the light, it will shine through it. Light able to through it. So Laura shedding her belief that she is freakish, a belief Jim helps her shed by commenting that he never noticed her brace and that he wished she has made more friends, and by conversing with her, dancing with her, calling her pretty and kissing her. Yet one day One may argue against the interpretation that Laura giving him the broken unicorn after announces he is engaged means that she is relinquishing her understanding that she isn't freakish of giving Jim the new feeling of normalcy he has inspired in her. Instead, one might argue that it symbolizes that, despite the discouraging news, she now knows that she no longer needs to seek refuge in a menagerie, especially not in a figurine that she thinks represents pure freakishness. Jim has not only made her realize that her perceptions of herself are wrong, but also that she is actually very special. These are not revelations that one cannot easily shrink from one's gain. One can reach a more positive interpretation of her giving Jim the broken unicorn when one takes a more careful look at the final stage direction. Though Tom abandons his mother and sister, the stage direction indicates that though Laura's head is covering with her face during Tom's final speech, at the very end of his speech, Laura lifts her face to smile at her mother. The smile is not indicative of a completely tragic ending for Laura. Instead, it indicates that by the end of the play, both Laura and her mother have learned to let go of their past torments and embrace a future in which they can survive on their own. Without Tom, who only served as a crutch preventing them from fully healing because they relied on him so much for their survival. Laura is like a glass animal because she is so fragile and easily broken. So in this case, there's an affinity between Laura and the unicorn. The unicorn does not exist in the modern world, just as Laura seems unable to exist in modern society. She has a limp and feels deformed. The unicorn has only one horn, which makes him different from the rest of the animals. Particularly, it cannot be called a horse even. So this symbolism is reinforced when Laura and Jim are dancing and Jim accidentally breaks the horn of the unicorn. Laura says now he is just like all other animals. She too seems more like any other animal now that Jim has made her feel special. Of course, the irony of Jim is engaged, and at that news, Laura gives the unicorn to Jim, indicating he's taking her normalcy with him. So the play is embedded with other minor symbols. The rainbow that comes from the color of the Laura glass menagerie is a symbol of illusion because the light comes through the glass. So it is a symbol of illusion. The setting Wingfield House in the urban tenement is designed to be symbolic of isolation. Amanda's moral platitude, rise and shine, symbolizes a conviction that moral purity and refinement is a passport to success. So the character of Laura itself is symbolic of the passing freshness and fragile lushness of Laura. So from the story we understand but one thing, that here everybody is to an extent not normal in their own way. There is always something wrong with everyone.